AJ Styles and Marufuji are going to wrestle for Noah, which, for those who don't know, is a Japanese promotion, not as big as New Japan. And there's the match. Now, this is happening on Destination. Now, you'll see at the bottom there, Abima. Abima distributes WWE in Japan. And supposedly they may have been involved in this deal. And I thought that was very interesting, that a Japanese streaming television provider, whatever you want to call them, like their name's on it. So there is some interesting synergy there. Now, this also goes back to me, to the Great Muta getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. Because to me, that was really the start of this. And I don't think that's been brought up a lot. And he's been doing promotion. You know, they've had some special events with Abima and WWE. And, you know, he's kind of spoken on those social outlets about that. So this seems like it's been in the works for quite some time. And what was that years ago, there's that famous graphic of Hunter standing in front of the world. And, you know, it was the global localization. And that's what they were going to do in NXT UK. And they were looking about that in Japan. They were looking at that in, you know, Mexico. And they got away from it with like NXT 2.0. Now they seem to be getting back to it. And I wonder if, you know, that was a Triple H idea. You know, let's have, I think, NXT brands. Still waiting on NXT Europe, by the way. It was supposed to start like 5 months ago, wasn't it? But I think it was supposed to have these like NXT developmental brands in Europe, and Japan, and Mexico, and Canada, wherever. But we're still waiting for NXT Europe when they shut down NXT UK. They have a performance center in the UK. But it seems like they've gotten back to that. And I do think that there is some synergy there within the company, at least in terms of a thought process of look at the international shows that they have run from Puerto Rico. Saudi's a different category, but, you know, Berlin this year, just coming off of Scotland, not as international, but Toronto, you know, they're going to go to these places. They want to have footprints in these places. They see what the crowds are like in these places. And I'm sure WWE's going, well, there's dollar signs there. We see the dollar signs. How do we get there more often? How do we find ways to keep our footprint there when we're not there? It's things like this. So on July 13th, not one, two WWE talents will be wrestling for promotions outside of WWE. Just saw the graphic. AJ and Marufuji, special singles match July 13th. Abima presents Noah Destination. That's a big show for them. Also, on July 13th, on a different show, the new all-women's promotion, Marigold, has a show called Summer Destiny. Io Sky is wrestling on that show. She had a taped promo that was played at a recent Marigold show, and she's going to wrestle Utami Hayashishita, who is fantastic, was dominant in Stardom. Another all, you know, that's Stardom, for those that don't know, is the biggest all-female promotion in Japan, and they have a few of those. They run them separately. The New Japan banner and their company, their parent company owns Stardom. So New Japan and Stardom are under the same umbrella. And former owner of Stardom, the man who used to run it, I should say, Rossi, who has a questionable reputation, I guess you would say, left there. They terminate him because he wanted to start this promotion, and he is very much, I guess you would say, involved in the connection with WWE. Julia, who's a hot signing, who will be coming to NXT soon as part of this Marigold promotion. We're going to see her soon. I think the idea was she was going to be at Heat Wave. She did get injured recently. We'll see if she actually shows up on the show. But there are clearly now tentacles of WWE in Japan between Marigold and Noah. Now, you can look at this in a couple ways. The positive from the wrestler standpoint is there's places to go work. Now, for AJ Styles, he has a great name in Japan. After TNA, Japan, Bullet Club, world champ there, he was the man, which raised his profile to the point that weeks after he faced Shinsuke Nakamura at what is New Japan's biggest show, Wrestle Kingdom, he would debut in the Royal Rumble a few weeks later. And obviously Shinsuke and Anderson and Gallows would follow. And Anderson and Gallows are supposed to be with AJ at that Noah show. So AJ's excited to go over there. You know, Charlie Dempsey worked for All Japan, which used to be a much bigger promotion. It's not as big as it used to be, but he was over there wrestling for their big championship a couple of months ago. So it's not at the New Japan level, because obviously New Japan has the relationship with AEW, but it seems like the other promotions are in play for WWE. And Noah and Marigold, and you wrestlers have brought this up when the TNA thing started. I'd love to go work there. I'd love to go back there. Chelsea Green, Drew McIntyre, Meechin, all former TNA champions at some point. We'd like to go back. Some have noted, hey, I'd like to go work in Marigold. Okay. So there's excitement there. Maybe you could say, like I said with the TNA relationship, people who need more experience can go work there. Or go work, can go work in these other places. Can get out of their comfort zone. That's a good thing. What I wonder, though, and I've thought this for probably the last year or so when I was in WWE, I think it got to the point where I realized that the real developmental or another legitimate arm, whether it won't be acknowledged, of WWE's developmental and the future is other companies. Whether it be some of the situations we see now where there's a clear working relationship. Like, does anyone think that Jordynne Grace will be in TNA when her contract's up, which might be 6 months or so? She's going to get signed. She should be signed. And that could be the case for other people in TNA. But I also think that's going to be the case for any big wrestler who has name value, who has value at all, regardless of where they work. If WWE wants someone, they will be able to outbid anybody else to go get them. And obviously, the Cons have money. Jacksonville Cons, not Nick. And they can match. But I think that WWE might just look at the rest of everything in wrestling where they can pick from. If Ricky Starks were to become available and WWE wants him, they can go get him. And I'm not saying everybody who comes up on a contract will want to go to WWE, but I think it looks a lot more attractive now than it did maybe 2 years ago with no Vince, with a massive deal that created TKO, the inroads that Endeavor can provide. To me, that's why Jade Cargill's in WWE, because it's the biggest company in the world and it's bigger than ever. And if they want somebody, they'll go get them. Ethan Page leaves AEW. If you believe that he had time left on his contract or not, WWE got him. If some of these other deals in AEW are coming up or TNA, and they really want people, and they show that they have value, especially immediate value, they'll go sign them. WWE can look at that entire AEW roster and go, well, when he's up or when she's up, we'd love to have them. We can go get them. I think that's how WWE looks at everything. Now, that's probably, when NXT UK happened, WWE really basically took over what was a blossoming UK scene. They kind of killed it. It hasn't been the same since. People got deals. People got better deals than others, but it took them away. And then, there was that time when they could do both. WWE is always going to get first priority, but that kind of slowly took the buzz away from that UK scene. Ospreay went to Japan. He was still wrestling in the UK, but a lot of people signed. And NXT UK became, the best of the UK indies and the Europe indies. I don't think that was good for NXT UK. WWE got something out of it. They didn't get a ton out of it, admittedly, but they got something out of it. And I think they can look at every other company in the world right now and go, well, if we want them, we'll get them. We may have to wait, but we'll go get them. And if it's a significantly smaller company, like a Noah or a Marigold, then we can work out deals. And I think there's way more to AJ Styles wrestling in Noah next month and EO wrestling in Marigold next month. I think there's more coming in relation to that. Developmental may be under one roof in Orlando, but it reaches out much further than that. And we'll see how these situations continue to play out over the coming months. But I think it is very telling that NXT has needed a shot in the arm from people that weren't in the company a month ago, and how that leads into the CW deal come October. Hey, this is Matt Camp. Thanks for checking out one of our recent clips from the Wrestling Mat. Why is someone so close to The Rock kind of throwing Cody over the bus?
Yeah, a lot of people won't engage with Jim Cornette. I did, just because I have a mark for Jim Cornette. And I cut
Please subscribe right now. Hit the like and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And I think you should listen to your TV partner. Let me tell you about WWE and a little insight. More subscribers means more content. And make sure you follow us on social media at WrestlingMat23 on both Twitter and Instagram.